Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here, back in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is, I have no idea what day it is. It's the day after 4th of July, so I guess it's the 5th. And it is a Wednesday, so welcome, everybody, to today's live stream and podcast. Today, I have a package here from Durango, Colorado. It is Tailwind. I think it's been a couple of years now since I've tried Tailwind, so when they reached out, I was like, I don't know why, but I kind of just tried it a couple years ago, haven't come back to it. I'd love it if you guys would send me some more stuff out. So they were like, yeah, for sure. So I don't know what's in there, but we'll get to it in just a second. First, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully you're having a good run out there today. I came back from humid Atlanta, and the air quality in Illinois was not great, but I did go for a run today anyway. Maybe that was a good idea. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. But hopefully wherever you are and you're listening to this, hopefully you're having a run in safe air conditions. And for those of you who are watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running hydration taste test show on the internet. I don't think that there's anyone else doing live taste testings of running hydration on the internet. I think this is the only one, but that also means that we're the #1. So you guys have chosen wisely. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. Runner Will's here. Good to see you, man, my friend. He says, hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. Sean Devlin said, hi, everyone. Ran 5 miles in the soup this morning. It must be humid and hot over in Boston. And Daniel Burton says, I ran a hard 2 miles. Last mile uphill was 16:20. Nice work there, Daniel, getting it done. And Martha says, hi, I hope everyone had a great holiday yesterday. I did a run with 12 hill repeats before I watched our local parade. Oh, that sounds nice, though. I got to see fireworks yesterday from the airplane. So we're flying. I had to connect from Atlanta to Dulles Airport in D.C. and then over to Chicago. So it was a long night of travel for me. But it was nice because I did get upgraded to first class on the leg from Atlanta to Dulles. Although that's like an hour-long flight. So I was like, good news, and I guess not bad news, but like the good news isn't that good. But it was kind of cool to see fireworks. But now it's been 2 years in a row that I haven't seen fireworks with my own kids on 4th of July. So that's kind of tough. This year I ran Peachtree Road Race. Last year I ran the Freedom Mile over in Mammoth Lakes. Fun races. Glad to do them. But like, I think I got to start finding a way to bring my family along for some of these 4th of July trips. That's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do next year. All right, Mark Peterson says, hello. And Frank says, I've got what I would call my first running injury in like 3 years. Just a sore Achilles, but I think I need to take a couple days off. Be careful with that, Frank. Those can get tricky. You know what I mean? So, you know that. Dave DeFrangia gives a little wave emoji. How's it going, David? And Lee Chad says, I love the matcha Tailwind. Now, like, I don't know, like, what flavors they sent. You know what I mean? So, like, we'll have to see what's going on in there. Eliza wants to know, were they handing out fancy snacks in first class? No, just the same snacks that they sell in the regular cabin. But I think that you get them first, I guess, which I didn't really care about. Yeah, so I was like, I got to the airport. Drew dropped me off to the airport really early. Because I was worried about holiday travel, and then I ended up just sitting at like a bar and working on like a reel for the Peachtree Road Race reel, and then I just like walked onto the plane. So it was pretty nice. And then I watched. I think I'm done. I think I finished it. I think I watched the, or is there a couple minutes left? I think I finished watching the latest season of Mandalorian. So I downloaded all those, and I watched them on the 2 flights home because I just didn't feel like working. Sleep Singer says, hey, Coach, saw you finishing Peachtree online. Way to go. You look great. Can't wait to see your video about your race. Someone sent me a screenshot because the local broadcast, apparently, like, they had just a camera at the finish line, and I was standing there for a minute, even though they were really, not aggressively, but assertively kind of trying to keep the finish area clear, which makes sense because it's a big downhill finish, and I feel like if you don't keep that clear, it could get messy real fast. But someone like sent a screenshot of me just like standing around to finish. And Martha says that they switched things up and had a laser light show instead of fireworks. Yeah, I was actually wondering um, if the air quality alert around here in Illinois was because of so many fireworks over the weekend, or if it's still from um, wildfire smoke from Canada. I'm not actually sure. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, it's interesting that people are already starting to change. I forget who was I. Who I saw someone post something online saying like instead of drones they were gonna instead of fireworks they were gonna do a drone show, and I'm like, oh, that's not that must be a much wealthier town than where I live. And Matthias Fenta says that shirt is super duper fresh. Yeah, so Peachtree Road Race. This is the finisher's shirt, and I guess it is a finisher's shirt because they do not give it to you at the expo. So a couple of things that reminds me. I got to remember to talk about these things because I'm doing the Runners Weekend video now. Hopefully it'll be done by tomorrow. I think it'll be done tonight, but realistically I probably won't post it till tomorrow. But one is that they don't give you your shirt until you finish the race. And then the other thing that I have to remember is that there's no bag check. Or what I want to remember to tell people is that there's no bag check. But you know what that does is that kind of like made the post-race area, which was a large park. And for those of you who go way, way back, the Kapoozie Run Club that we did in Atlanta back in 2020 met at Piedmont Park. We also got lost in Piedmont Park. I got us lost in Piedmont Park. But it could have been like way more chaotic if like people were trying to like pick up bags and stuff. And so, I mean, it's also point to point 10K. So there's not a lot of time for people to like drop off bags in one location and have them transported. And like for a 10K, do you really want to drop off your bags the night before or have to go to the beginning of the race and then get to there's just a lot. There would have been a lot of logistics. So it's Atlanta, it's hot. You're not going to need, warm up clothes afterwards. So no bag check. So that was interesting. But this is the shirt, and apparently if you are an Atlanta Track Club member, you get to vote on what the shirt design is. Like multiple get submitted, and then they put out a vote between like 5 finalists. And Drew and I were Drew is an Atlanta Track Club member, and we were looking through the brochure they gave us at the expo of the 5 potential designs. And Drew was like, I like this one and this one. I'm like, yeah, those are the 2 best ones. I agree. And he goes, this one is the one I like the least. And then that's the one that ended up being it. But he's like, he liked the color. And I feel like this is a bold color choice. I suppose it's peach. It looks very pink to me. So, that's kind of... So that's the shirt. That's the shirt. Sean said his wife took the girls to the Boston fireworks last night. 10:30 start time was too late for him. That's very late. That's very, very late. I couldn't handle that. And Rob DeGenaro says, I grabbed the Triumph 20s for myself and my wife for under $100 both 2 pairs? 2 pairs for, or under $100? I'm guessing under $100 each. So that's still, either way though, it's still good. Carlo Cabrera says the Peachtree shirt looks great this year. Last year the graphics were huge and left the shirt not very breathable. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's definitely possible. I just feel like of all the designs that I saw, I liked the ones that had a big cartoony peach on it. I like that. And but I'm like, I'm not an Atlanta Track Club member. I'm not a voting member. I'm not a voting person. So I have an opinion, but don't worry about me. Whatever you guys want, Vanessa Martinez says she did 3 miles yesterday on the 4th, sweaty but ready for more tomorrow. I think it was hot like everywhere yesterday. Luke Klein said latest season. What did I watch? I watched The Mandalorian. Did I not say that? Latest season of The Mandalorian. I don't know. The storyline's getting kind of weird. The more The Mandalorian goes, like the longer it goes. Like at first, like their culture seemed really like mysterious, and then now it just seems like they're easy to. It seems like they're easy to trick or manipulate. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit. Something about it seemed off. I don't know. All right, let's check this. Oh, good call. Leva TV said, is it me or does it sound like the stream might be using a laptop mic instead of the Shure? You are correct. It was. I'm sorry. I just got back. I'm sorry about that. I had to like disassemble this room, bring all the stuff down to Atlanta, and now I'm reassembling it now. I just reassembled it like in a hurry. So thanks a lot for the help, Leva. Ooh, yeah, that's better. All right, we got running shoe Q&A. Matt Byer wants to know, Carl, how's the sizing of the Magic Speed 3? I'm thinking getting a pair later in the year once my Takumis are done. I went with the same size in the Takumi Sen as in the Magic Speed 3, and I think both sizes work for me. If you've had a Metaspeed Sky before, it's the same sizing as that because it's the same upper. I think it's the same upper, same last. So I think that's another way that you can check it out too. Martha says that this shirt is more of a melon or coral. Peach is a little bit more yellow than that, maybe like a pinkish orange. Okay, I will believe you because I don't have a way of. I don't know. I just have to take your word for it, I guess. Brian Lang loves the color for this year's Peachtree shirt. I think it works. I like it. And Luke Klein wants to know, how was the Takumi Sen at Peachtree? I think Takumi Sen was great. I felt great in that shoe. I felt like I still had a lot of like bounce, even going up the hills, which there are two sets of hills. Emma Grace Hurley, for those of you guys that watched the live stream live, she was absolutely right. And the more I think about it, the more like Peachtree feels to me very much like a mini version of the Boston Marathon course, because you have at one point you go down a big downhill, and then you immediately start going uphill, and that's Cardiac Hill. And then you go, and that's about 3/4 of a mile long. And then you got about a half mile of gently downhill. And then you have another 3/4 of a mile, almost a mile of rolling and uphill. So it might flatten out, but it's uphill. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like part of the Boston course, if you ask me. So like two of the hills towards Heartbreak, you know? So it kind of was like that. And the hills were like of similar grade, it felt like. Now, granted, the intensity that you're running is different. It makes them feel different, but it was pretty similar to that, I felt like. I feel like I could have been more aggressive, you know? So, yeah. Sega says the Shure is peaking a little bit. Okay. We're bringing it down. How's that? Is that better? All right, let me tweak this. Okay. I think we're all right. Sega Dreamcast, Levi, thanks for helping out. All right, we got another relationship question here. Brian Solangon says, trying to decide between Hoka Rocket X2, Vaporfly 3, or Adidas Adios Pro 3 for next race day shoe. If I currently have Vaporfly 2 as my racing shoes and had a few good races, suggestions on the next pair. If you love the Vaporfly 2, I think one of the things you can also consider is another pair of Vaporfly 2 if you're really enjoying those. Vaporfly 3 would be the obvious like next choice in my opinion. And then probably Adios Pro 3. Assuming you really love the Vaporfly 2. But if you want to try something different, and assuming these are like half marathon to marathon races, maybe some 10Ks, I might try the Adios Pro 3. It'll feel very different than the Vaporfly. It's doing its own thing. But I really like the way that it does it. So, there. Martha says, I wonder which is harder, Peachtree or Boulder Boulder? Boulder Boulder is all hilly, net uphill, and steep uphill at the end, and it's at elevation. I asked Drew that, and he said he thinks that Boulder Boulder is harder because he couldn't breathe. So I feel like if you're from Denver or Boulder area and you're used to the elevation, I don't know. I think that it would be a little bit closer, but for Drew, he said that because he ran both of them this year, and he was just like that elevation just stings your lungs the whole time. So. All right, PG1980 wants to know, Heiko, what's in the package? All right, let's get to it. This is a package, like I mentioned, from Durango, Colorado, from Tailwind. Some hydration product, which I'm very excited to get to because it is hot and sweaty, and I just want more options. I had a tub of Gatorade Endurance, and it was the blue flavor, and the kids don't like it, which normally I don't care if the kids aren't drinking Gatorade, but when my daughter's running, I want her to drink Gatorade, like both on the way to when we go run and on the way back, just to make sure she's replenishing sugars. And she just doesn't like blue. And so I bought Fruit Punch, which is not a Gatorade Endurance flavor, it's just regular Gatorade, which I think basically means a little less sugar and a lot less salt. But I don't love having the red Gatorade all the time. So let's see what we got in the package here. We got a sticker. A lot of paperwork. Oh, they threw in something here for Dahlwalter melon, which is Courtney Dahlwalter's signature flavor, which I think is awesome. And then a handwritten note. You are the rock to our roll. And then now we got the product. All right. So we got stuff in a bag and stuff that was separate. And I only brought 3 cups down here to test, so we'll have to kind of decide which one I'm going to try. One is they sent a couple of things of the Dahlwalter melon. Am I saying that right? How would you say that? Courtney Dahlwalter, but it's Walter melon. I don't know. Packaging is nice, so we'll definitely try that one. There's a lot of stuff in here. I didn't think they had this many flavors. All right, we got berry, lemon, raspberry. I don't know if I want to try raspberry. Coffee. We were just talking about this, guys. How I just want to drink coffee in my hydration pack. This could be the way. But this is a recovery mix. So that's for afterwards. Naked, unflavored. Oh, boy. Tropical? Tropical sounds good. I feel like I'm going to like tropical. More, oh, this recovery mix. Oh. Salted caramel. That sounds tasty. Chocolate. They got vanilla as well. Man, there's a lot of flavors. They sent me like one of every flavor. Someone mentioned they like the matcha. Matcha's in here. Mandarin. I do like orange flavored stuff. And then cola, which I feel like I've tasted cola before. You know, I think Tailwind may have been the first Monday Mukbang product that we have ever had. It was one of the first. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's start with the Dahlwalter melon. I feel like we got to start there. All right, now the way they make these is like you mix this, and this is a big sleeve, and you mix it with 20 to 24 ounces of fluid. I'm gonna kind of just pinch it in the middle and only pour in half because I have these size cups, and they don't hold 20 to 24 ounces. But yeah, so it's probably gonna end up making a big mess down here. Uh-oh. There's powder everywhere. Okay. Get about half of it in there. I feel like I had to pour a lot in there. You know what? I'd gotten a spoon ready for myself, but I forgot it. So now I'm going to have to stir this, I guess, with my knife. Sean Devlin, why do you guys always want me to dry scoop this stuff? It's not intended for dry scooping. It's for mixing into your hydration pack, and I think you guys know that. Eliza says, oh boy, I need to know if this is tasty. Yeah. Do you think did she drink it during Western States? Let's look at some of the numbers. There's 1 serving per container. So I did about a half. So I'm going to cut all the numbers in half. So it'll be about 100 calories, about 315 milligrams of salt. What? About 25 grams of carbohydrates. And then there's a little bit of potassium and magnesium. Oh boy. I like these numbers. Cheers, guys. Let's see what's going on in there. This is tasty. Oh, guys, this is good. You guys should buy this. This is really good. This is really nice. It's like you melted a Jolly Rancher a little bit, but that would be really sweet, I feel like, and very strong, like almost like a pucker of a watermelon flavor. This is just like a hint of watermelon. And it's hard to believe that there's 25 grams of carbs and 300 and whatever milligrams of sodium in here. This is a high sodium drink, which makes sense. But this is good. I was just talking with Drew yesterday because Drew gave me some of the Scratch Hyper Hydration to have the night before Peachtree. And I'm like, why do they only make that in passion fruit? I don't like passion fruit flavored things. I feel like their hyper hydration's got to be selling well. Can we have another flavor? Watermelon. I was like, make it red, a red flavor. I would drink a red flavor. But this watermelon, I think I'm going to, instead of hyper hydration, I might go with this because it's easier to drink. Granted, it's about a third or maybe about a half of the salt, but still, this is good. This is really good. Adam says, yes, it'll taste different on the run versus sitting at a desk. That's definitely true. And it'll also taste very different in this glass versus my probably moldy hydration pack. So there's also a little bit of translation that you'll have to do there. You know? This is good. I like this. I kind of want to drink all of this right now. But I'll drink it later after the show. Brian says, I wish it would make more Asian-inspired flavors like lychee or dragon fruit. I don't know. I feel like Scratch Hyper Hydration, the passion fruit flavor, set us back. I'll just be happy if they use mango. I like mango. Give me some pineapple. You know, those are flavors that I like. I like white peach. Can you imagine if Scratch Hyper Hydration came in white peach? What if Scratch made, or Tailwind made products for races? For Cherry Blossom, they make I don't want a cherry flavored drink. But for Peachtree, if they could make a peach flavored drink, that'd be really nice. There was a company that sold some sort of like peach flavored like energy drink, and they were giving away samples like outside. They clearly weren't like a vendor with the race, but they just set up like a big cooler, one of those rolling coolers, and they were giving out samples. That was good. I can go for something like that, you know. All right. We got Alex Hermanson voting for a cola flavor next. Yeah. And Calvin says, won't it also taste different at altitude? I suppose it could. I'm not actually sure. And Alex says, mango tangerine scratch, man. It's the best. Is there a mango tangerine scratch? I don't know. Madita Dicoche says, I know I want aguas frescas flavors. I would try it. Bucky Doc says, for Chicago Marathon, you can make a pizza flavor. That would be, I don't know if that would be good. Can you imagine if there was like a pizza gel? I feel like, you know, we've talked about it, how I don't like corporate April Fool's Days. Like social media posts. But I do feel like if I were Goo, I'd be like, we're announcing now the Savory collection. You know, like, and it could be like foods from all of the 6 marathon world majors. You know, it'd be like Chicago would be like Italian beef. New York would be pizza flavor. Boston would be like, well, they already have like Boston cream pie. But like, it would be like a lobster roll. London would be like fish and chips. Berlin would be like a schnitzel. And Tokyo would be like a tuna roll. Can you imagine if those were like Goo flavors? Michael Haney says Chicago should be Jardinera. There we go. Oh, Mark says Big Beans for Boston. I think that'd be a good one. All right. It's just Mark says, I'm late to live stream, but it was great meeting you on Sunday, and I'm glad you enjoyed your Peachtree experience, including the humidity and hills. Yeah, it was good to meet you too, Mark. I enjoyed it. I felt like, you know what? It was hilly, and I was nervous about the hills, and I probably was too nervous about them because I could have attacked them a little harder. But I will say that, like, the reason why I know that I can attack them harder is because all the downhills after the uphills were very usable at 10K speed. And they were a lot of fun. And they made you completely forget how much pain the hills caused. So it was just a lot of fun. And when you're going up the first big hill, Cardiac Hill, the patients from the hospital come out and they cheer you on. And it's really cool to see that, you know. So a lot of fun. All right, let's go. Let's go with the next one. I think we should try one of these endurance flavors. Or not endurance, recovery flavors. Should we do chocolate, salted caramel, or coffee? I want to do coffee because it's caffeinated too, but I have a feeling, I feel like Eric would want me to do salted caramel. So we're going to do the salted caramel. Again, same thing. These are big sleeves for 20 to 24 ounces. Oh, this has mixed with 16. It says drink to refill your tank within 30 to 60 minutes after activity. Dairy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, and vegan. I don't know. Can I fit the whole thing in there? I don't think I don't think these jars fit 16 ounces. So I'm going to put like about half in it. So the whole thing, I'll cut it in half because I'm going to have half. Or should I give you the full? I'll give you the full number. For 16 ounces of fluid, it's 230 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, 550 milligrams of salt. I love that. 41 grams of carbs and 12 grams of protein. This is pretty good. I like these numbers. All right, I'm going to shake it down a little bit better this time so I don't spill the powder everywhere. Adam says, why are you going harder on the hills than on the flats? I think I took it too easy on the hills. I think I eased up a little bit too much. That's the thing. Because I wasn't sure what the grade of the elevation was going to be. And Drew and I Drew drove me on the course the day before. Oh, man, I got so much powder all over the place. Oh, boy. I made a huge mess. So it's not like I changed effort level. I just feel like I could have run it. I went too conservative. That's what I'm saying. Paul Public says, is the coffee specifically recovery? It feels like coffee is to get started and not after. It's listed as recovery drink, but like, it's 450 milligrams of sodium, 42 grams carbs, and 12 of protein, and 3.5 grams of fats. So as long as you're okay with having a little bit of fat in the in your sport drink, to have during, it has a lot of sugar in it. Which I do feel like, for me, I like it when recovery drinks have sugar. So I think you could do it that way. All right, it's the color's interesting. It's like a vanilla color almost for the salted caramel. I was confused originally because we were talking about coffee as I was mixing up this salted caramel. I'm gonna have to clean this knife. Yeah, Eric says, I got to put it in something that I can shake. I thought I was going to bring a nice spoon down here to give everything a good stir. And so I didn't bring, normally with these jars, we have lids for them. So I normally bring the lids, but I'm out of practice. I've been traveling. I'm out of practice, but here we go. Salted caramel. Cheers. That's really nice. It's almost like there's like little bits of toffee in it because of the way that like the way that the drink didn't quite dissolve well enough with the way that I stirred it. At first, when I drink it, the color and the texture of it, probably because I didn't quite stir it enough, reminds me a lot of milk. And then it's got this like toffee flavor at the end. So, really nice. I like that. I could have that as a recovery drink all day, especially like in the winter. I think I would really like that. I think I might put that in my coffee in the winter, or maybe I'll do that in the summer too. If I make it, I don't really drink iced coffee. Do you guys do iced coffees? I'm not a huge fan, but this is nice, really good. Like I feel like this could be a nice dessert before I go to bed treat too. I feel like it would sit in the belly nice. Martha says the end is called the finish if you want to sound like a connoisseur. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I try to play it up and make it sound like I'm getting really technical with these. Like it opens up, it blooms, a finish. But then all the times I'm like, I don't know, at the front up here it feels like this, and then I feel it at the roof of my mouth, So I don't know. I got to figure out what my what my vocabulary is going to be on something like that. Carlos Griego says, I just ordered a bunch of these. Should come in handy for summer marathon training here in New Mexico. It's 100 today. What? Carlos, do you have humidity though too? Some I gotta visit more of the United States because some places are hot and dry, like Flagstaff, like Boulder. Some places are hot and humid, like Houston, Atlanta, Orlando. Joseph Carter is drinking his afternoon iced coffee right now. I feel like that's salted caramel. Highly recommend. Really, really good. Okay. I'm starting to kind of get full, but let's keep going. I've made such a mess over here. What do you guys want to see next? I don't want to do raspberry or berry. I just don't feel like those. Should we do cola? You guys want to do cola or tropical or mandarin? What do you guys want to do? I mean, you guys are like trying to compete with each other with the heat. It's just hot everywhere. Just different kinds of heat. All right, a lot of votes for cola. Eliza says cola. Martha says cola. Eric says cola. I drank a lot of cola this weekend because there's Coca-Cola everywhere. You know how like I showed you guys in Tokyo, there's like vending machines everywhere. In Atlanta, there's vending machines everywhere, and there's all Coke. It's just all Coke products. That's all you can find, which makes sense. It's the headquarters of Coke. But like, I had so many. I don't really drink that much soda, but I drank a lot of Coca-Cola this weekend. Kyle says sometimes I think Kotoxo is like he talks to his little ones. No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. Vanessa says do the weirdest flavor. I'm okay. I think we need to try that because I've had cola before. It's nice. It tastes like cola. I feel like it has more of a I don't know. That's not licorice. Isn't the flavor? Because like when I drink, I mean, how do you even describe the cola flavor? Right. I feel like it's kind of like a little bit of brown sugar, and then there's something that's kind of like almost like a root beer kind of hint to it in there too. And then there's a little bit of like more brown sugar or caramel flavor. The cola has a little bit more of that, like it's like a root, something like that. There's a kind of like a herbal taste to it, but definitely tastes like cola. I think raspberry, berry, or lemon are going to be not good. But I don't want to drink any of these. I think the lemon will be fine. Lemon will be like lemonade. So should I have raspberry or berry? 1HP says it's anise. Is that what I'm tasting? Anise? Yeah. That whatever that flavor is. And Levi says that the Tailwind cola tastes like RC or Sam's, some off-brand cola. All right. Well, I think we got to go for it. We've talked about it enough. And Eric says you're right. It does have a root / anise flavor to the cola and Tailwind for sure. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Because I feel like this is the most unique flavor. Because I feel like you can kind of get a lot of these other flavors at other brands, but I don't think anyone else is making like a cola flavor. But I thought that before, didn't they call this Colorado Cola before? Or did they just still call it cola? But it is caffeinated. If you do the whole packet, which is supposed to go with 20 to 24 ounces, I'm going to do half. But if you do the whole, it's 200 calories, 630 milligrams of salt, which is way more than what cola has. That's why, like flat Coke is great, but it's got like 30 milligrams of salt, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is 630 milligrams of salt and 50 milligrams of carbs if you drink the whole thing. So I think for 24 ounces of cola, I think it's less sugar. And 70 milligrams of caffeine for this whole thing. All right. Managed to not spill any that time. Let's put a little more in there. All right. Made such a big mess today. All right, guys, guess what? If you guys have had it before, don't answer. But if you haven't had it before, guess what color it's going to be? I got to clean this nice knife off because it tastes like caramel. That's going to be the problem. Frank says, what do you think would be the worst sports drink flavor? I feel like rhubarb, root beer, like that sarsaparilla kind of flavor. Anything that tastes like very like root, like, which the cola, I guess, if it's going to have that anise flavor. I don't know. Frank says it's going to be clear. Alex thinks it's going to be purple. Mark thinks it's going to be mauve. You guys are just naming colors that I don't know what they look like mauve or purple. Steve Zabrowski says white. And Joseph Carter thinks it's going to be clear. And Shannon thinks it's going to be clear like Pepsi from the 90s. Here's an unpopular opinion. I like crystal clear Pepsi. Or is it crystal clear Coke? Whatever that one was. They had that Van Halen song. That was the song for the commercial right now. I liked that product. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it needed to be like, it got scrapped so fast. But anyway, here's the color. It's just cloudy. I don't think there's a color to it. If I were to say a color, I would say it's milky. But like, I don't know. This is the color. Cheers. Yeah, now we've been talking about the anise so much. That's all I smell. That's all I taste. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, there's that kind of like caramel brown sugar flavor. If you don't look at it, it's easier to like envision that it's a brown drink, like cola is. I remember liking it more last time. I don't know. I think part of it is I just tasted a bunch of things that didn't have a palate cleanser. But there it is, cola flavor. It's like having a flat Coke in your hydration pack, but this actually has salt in it. I wonder what would happen. Do you think you would even notice? I think we should all try this. I'm going to try this soon. I don't know if we have any Coca-Cola in our house. If you took flat Coke and added 600 milligrams of salt, do you think you would even notice? My hypothesis is that you wouldn't, because cola flavor is so strong. That's my guess. Anise is my sister's daughter. Anise is the flavor. Is it? I thought it was like star anise. Anise? Anise sounds weird. Yeah, Shannon says, I like Tailwind and sports drink when I'm actively working out, but not while I'm sipping at a desk. I like some of these Tailwind flavors when I'm sitting at a desk. The cola, I'm conflicted on. Frank says, I wouldn't notice if you put 600 milligrams in flat Coke. It would still be gross. New Betcher said, fun fact, Coca-Cola intentionally made Tab their clear cola to confuse people into thinking Crystal Pepsi was diet to hurt sales. Wait, what? Coca-Cola intentionally made Tab their clear cola to confuse people into thinking Crystal Pepsi was diet to hurt sales. Tab soda was clear? I thought Tab was a dark colored soda. I'm trying to remember it. The last time I remember seeing Tab soda was in Back to the Future 2. Or was it Back to the Future? Yeah, I think it was Back to the Future 2. I don't really remember that. I don't remember Tab being a diet. But that's interesting. I didn't know that. That was such a strange time. Like the soda wars. It was weird. Levi wants to know if you could still buy Tab. I bet you can. I bet you there's someone that still sells it somewhere. Now, Crystal Clear Pepsi, I don't know. Carlos says, I miss the Pepsi Clear. Drinking it while playing Mario 3 that I had rented from Blockbuster, those were the days. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Like, trying to, like, beat the... You had so many hours to beat the game, and you're like, well, I know what I'm doing for the next 48 hours. Sega Dreamcast says, bring back Pepsi Blue. Shannon says, I remember the blue can. I don't remember Pepsi Blue. Matthew Rand wants to know if I've tested the Kinvara Pro yet. No, but the embargo lifts tomorrow. I mean it no, though. I haven't. But I will tell you that the embargo lifts tomorrow. I think I can tell you that. I mean, everyone's been posting pictures of it and stuff. Or at least Thomas and them have been talking about it a little bit. So I feel like I can tell you that. Mark Beaton says, I can't give you a tab unless you order something, kid. I know. I feel like, that joke was so funny to me at the time when I first saw it in whichever Back to the Future movie that it came in. And really, it's just another version of the Laurel and Hardy, like, who's on first. You know what I mean? If you think about it, it's just a who's on first. Kyle says, fun fact. New Coke was a cover-up for Coke adding high fructose corn syrup? It was? I had no idea. And so is that when Coke stopped like using real sugar and then you have to go to like Mexico to get like real sugar Coke? Is that what happened? All right, Nicholas Holland wants to know, how are the Cozy Run Club Non-Elite singles coming along? Any progress? I need one. There have been some hiccups. I'm kind of back to the drawing board. I was explaining it to someone well, you guys all actually want to know. So I was reaching out to ASICs to see if I can have them send, like if I could buy like 100 of them and then I'll take them to a screen printer. But they were like, for us to sell you that many, you have to be like a vendor in our system. And we could do that, but it takes time and it's really annoying, especially because you're not like a buyer that we'll be selling to regularly. And so like they were like, well, let's see if we can work out a way that we can like get those 100 to you as kind of like a donation to the Kofuzi Run Club or like as payment for like an appearance fee or something like that. So it's like some sort of barter or trade to make it work. We were trying to figure out some like kind of back, not back door, but back channel kind of way to like make the math work out for, I don't know, just kind of like logistics isn't the right word, but so that like it could flow through systems properly. And I was like, well, okay, let's think about ways we could do that. We could talk about it. I have some project ideas that we could do. And then it was like, I got another email saying like, we can't find 100. Like I'm guessing like there might be stores that have them that have bought them in inventory, but in terms of like ASICS America still having unsold units, like they are like, I couldn't find you 100. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you for looking. So I think what I'm going to do is, so then I went with that same person that had priced me a quote for printing, the one that Greggy Tahara recommended. They sent me a quote for just doing the screen printing. And I was like, do you have any singlets that I could do? And then like they sent me a link and all the singlets are like the ones that used to be like in the East Bay catalog. Or like if you go to Running Warehouse and look for like team singlets, like that have like a variety of colors, like school team colors, and then you could just screen print your school's like name and logo on it. And I don't really want to do those. And so now I'm just like, oh boy. I'm thinking I might go back to the screen printer that's local because I feel like they had a wider library of singlets to choose from. So I gotta look. So I'm thinking my goal is to get it to you guys for like it's gonna be a while. So I gotta spend a little bit more time on doing that. So I have a whole nother new set of to-do items on the list to do. So that's what's going on there. Wait, that's not right. Shannon says Tab had a blue can. I thought it had a pink can. It wasn't pink. I thought it was pink. Calvin says, I've held off on many apparel purchases in anticipation of the Kofuzi Run Clip singlet. I'm very sorry. I got to get better at this. But I feel like once I finally get it figured out the first time, then after that it'll be easier. But like, yeah, it's going to be a little while. I'm working on it though. Martha says, I wonder if ASICS will sponsor CIM again. Before last year, it was New Balance. Yeah, I think, Martha, I think typically a lot of those races have multi-year contracts. So my understanding is that ASICS is a sponsor for CIM again. Calvin says, do I want to do a Tracksmith one? They do club singlets in the UK. Yeah, I mean, but then it'll be like, then I got to email someone I got to email someone in either event, but, yeah, I would have to figure out like, well, which Tracksmith singlet. That's the thing. I do think that the Tracksmith singlet would look nice because when I think about like the Believe in the Run Tracksmith singlet, I'm like, oh, okay, you got a little Believe in the Run on one side, the Tracksmith Tracksmith hair on the other. It looks kind of nice. So I like that one. I did run in the all white today, guys. It's a very comfortable singlet. I left the safety pins on, and then one of them kind of like undid itself and started poking me a little bit. So I would recommend taking the safety pins off. I wouldn't do it on that one just because the fabric is so delicate, but it is very nice. Adam says sublimation is better than screen printing. Yes, I believe so. Because then it's like it's baked into the fabric. But like, if I'm not mistaken, you can't do white or you can't do black in sublimation. I don't remember which way it is. So like it limits colors. Not that I care about. I would need the logo in black or white, but it limits like what color of shirt you could do it on. I think I don't remember. I've been down many rabbit holes on this. Kyle says, is there going to be non-elite stuff from Pat, though? Yes, we're working on it. I don't know where the status is on it. I'm usually the holdup, but I'm pretty sure there are no action items pending for me to do. So the rest is on whatever they're going to do. I'm not sure the exact timeline on that one. But that's not a matter of weeks. Because usually, like, what we've done in the past is, like, I'll get something to take photos. And then, like, as an early sample. And then they will put the photos on their website. The rest of the production gets finished and to them. And so we haven't gotten to that point yet. What matters to Matt is I appreciate you taking the time to get up to the Kofuzi standard. I mean, it's a racing singlet. I'm going to race in it once we get them done. So like, I don't want to race in something not good. So like, you know, I want to make sure that it's a good one. And Kyle says, whatever the singlet is, please make it available in XXL for the fat boys, BOIS. You got it. You know, I think what I'm going to do is once we get closer and we got to figure out size numbers, I'll do some sort of like, I don't know what's the easiest way to do it. I feel like an Instagram stories poll is good, but it only stays up for one day. And then so maybe I'll do like a Google Docs form or something like that, where you can like just let me know what sizes, just so I can have an idea of what people would want, and then I'll probably just like add a couple on each one of those, you know. All right, another running shoe question. Wojciech Malkowicz. Oh, sorry, I'm sure I said that wrong. Says, Mike, any suggestions for an alternative for Asics Super Blast? They're not doing size 14. I'm sorry, chat, for spamming. No problem. Sorry, I know I saw it earlier. I didn't get to it. This question. It's a good question. I would say, for me, I use the Invincible in a very similar way that I use the Super Blast. So I feel like that would be an area that I look in. And with Nike, I think they do size 14s. The other one that I might look at would be the SC Trainer. I haven't tried version 2 yet. I still don't have version 2. I don't know why, but I don't have it yet. So SC Trainer version 1, I think could be a good option. And then maybe even look at the Prime X. That's a big difference in price. So I would say like wait for it to go on sale. But like that's also another one I feel like I use kind of similarly. Kyle says it's easiest to sublimate on white if you want full color. Okay, I just want to like have a white logo or a black logo, depending on what the. I probably pick a white singlet because it absorbs the least heat. So like I'd need to Can you sublimate black on a white? I forget. There was a color limitation somewhere of the like 1,000, maybe not 1,000 of like the 20 YouTube videos that I watched on it. Calvin says, a Van Cortlandt from singlet from Tracksmith will work fine. A better balance in quality, performance, and cost than their Strata or Twilight. Is the Van Cortlandt is the one with the diagonal sash, right? Is that the one that Believe in the Run has? I don't think I have one of those. I have another Tracksmith singlet. It's like almost white. It's like a minty white. I feel like that would be a good one. I don't know what the model is on that one. It's not Strata. I don't know if it's Twilight. I have no idea. Shannon says, I feel like we're Kofuzi's board members and I'm fumbling for answers. It kind of feels like that a little bit. Calvin says, what about Rabbit? So you could also do a Kofuzi Run Club Speedster short. I feel like that would be, I've thought about that too. But I'm like, ooh. My favorite Rabbit singlet is the PR collection one. There was a green shirt and a yellow singlet, and I don't think they continued the PR collection, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like, again, getting enough numbers in those sizes would be hard, and I don't love the idea of like a yellow singlet. It's too strong of a color. It could be hard to kind of like, I mean, I guess you could wear a yellow singlet in whatever color shoes. It's far enough away, but like then you would do like black Speedster tights. But maybe I should try to figure out some Speedster short half tights. Get a bunch of those. Rabbit on the left leg, Kofuzi Run Club on the right, and then a tank top with the Kofuzi Run Club logo on one of the two shoulders. Yeah, I don't know. Gavin Hong says do it in the Google Forms. Okay. All right. I don't think I've ever done a Google form before. That's the thing. Nicholas Holland says, I'm not on Instagram. Is there an official Kofuzi Twitter page? There was, but I stopped using Twitter a long time ago. It kind of got very chaotic over there. So I stopped using it. I feel better not using it, so I don't think I'm going to go back. So like usually the ways that I communicate now are mainly through the Instagram on the Kofuzi Run Club Strava page, and then here on the Kofuzi Run Club or on the Kofuzi channel, because I'll do like a community post on the Kofuzi channel. So that's kind of where it comes from. All right, Daz Darren says, if it's not too complicated, rather than just singlets, can you do a tech tee also for those of us who don't like singlets? Well, for like the shirts, there's the Path Project shirts. And so I like doing shirts with Path Projects because then they solve all the logistics problems. So that's why I was thinking a singlet would be good, because then also like then they wouldn't be like, hey, well, we were working on these T-shirts this whole time. Why are you making a different T-shirt? You know, so I'm thinking like that's why I'm one of the reasons why I'm thinking singlet, to make sure like it doesn't cannibalize too much. All right, and look at this. Rozelski says, I just want to say thank you for always acknowledging and saying hi to those of us who watch the recorded or non-live streams on YouTube. I've watched almost every single one the past few months. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know you guys are out there, and I appreciate all of you guys. And Frank says, we were talking about the Primex a minute ago, and I probably got to get going after this one because I got to start working on that video or finishing up that that video. And I had an anti-ad read ready for you guys as well. I'll just do the anti-ad read real quick too. Do you guys want to do an anti-ad read? We'll do this after this. Frank says, I don't think the Primex goes up that high, size 14. Andy, FOD runner, and Tim Gross haven't worn it, I don't think, and they're both, I know Andy's a 14 or whatever size is just past Metaspeed Sky. Andy's like the next size above that. So I know he hasn't worn it. I don't know Tim Gross's size, but I know he has a larger shoe size. Okay, so if they haven't, then the Primex might not go that high. Then Invincible might be Invincible and SC Trainer. I think are going to be the best bet if you need a size 14 and want something like the Super Blast. All right. Let's get to the anti-ad read, and then we'll end with that for today. All right, let me pull it up here. Today's anti-ad read is how do we do this? There we go. Parker Max. So Parker Max is a young guy. He's been making YouTube videos for a while. He is a Division II runner for St. Olaf, a small college north of here, I think. But he's been making really great NCAA college runner videos. But I first found out about his channel back when he was in high school, which always feels kind of weird for me because I'm like a full-grown man and I'm watching like a high schooler's YouTube video. But he is, let's go back to some of his older videos. He has interviewed people, my favorite interviews of his. I mean, he's interviewed Seth James Damore. You could see one where he's interviewed Adam Fogg. But one of my favorites was when he was in high school, he interviewed Hobbs Kessler when Hobbs Kessler was still in high school. And I was just like, this is amazing. And I just feel like it's kind of like two peers that are talking to each other about it, where you have to go real far back to find it. Here we go. Yeah, 2 years ago, he interviewed Hobbs Kessler, American high school indoor mile record holder. And so I just felt like that was a really fun interview because it was a very different approach and a very different angle than most of the other videos that were out there. So since then, I don't think he's been really interviewing people as much since he's been in college. But his videos now, I think he just like decided to take the summer in Flagstaff and just do a bunch of running. And so the videos are pretty fun watching him go on some adventures and stuff like that. So a very small channel in terms of subscribership. It is, let's see, 2.83 thousand subscribers. So like, you know, if you want to see how a college runner who's not like super track broy lives, I feel like that's Parker Max is a great channel to go check out. So that is today's anti-ad read. Once we're done with the live stream for today, I'll put that in the channel, but you can just find them, youtube.com. One of the slashes, I don't know if it's, I think it's // Parker Max is how you're going to find it. So that's today's anti-ad read. All right, that's going to be it for today, everybody. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll have that Runners Weekend Atlanta Peachtree Road Race Edition out. And then we'll do another live stream, same time as today. I don't have a guest lined up, so it's just going to be me. We'll do another unboxing for that shoe that's going to be off embargo by tomorrow. So we'll take a first look at that because I just got it today. It just arrived in the mail today. I'll unbox it for you guys tomorrow. So we'll see that. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.